It's great. Yeah. And my daughter's having a wedding in March. New Jersey. She's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Very good.
Actually, I want to call your brother and compliment him. What's his phone number?
Ezra knows how to do it.
This is 100% passive.
It's still somebody doing a good job. Good.
Okay.
945.
945.
No, sorry, 917 945.
945.
Yeah.
Okay.
2912.
Great. Thank you. Because it was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Friday night, Saturday morning.
You know, these few kind words, it's like it's worth $1 million.
Oh, no, but this is it. As I understand, this is what Chazan is about.
Hi, Larry. Good morning.
Okay, Tov. Good morning.
Amanda.
Good morning, Ronnie.
Nice to see you.
Good to see everybody.
Who do you have in Inglewood, New Jersey? Who do you have in Inglewood, New Jersey?
Doesn't hear you.
Four my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws live in Inglewood. Live in Inglewood. Two of my brother-in-laws and two of my sister-in-laws. My daughter, she's the one having the wedding.
What's the wedding going to be? Inglewood also? The wedding is in Inglewood, New Jersey?
Oh, no, it's in the Hilton, Secaucus Hilton. You know, I used to learn with Rabbi Fishman in the morning.
Yeah.
No.
I can't believe the flowers, boy. Shoot. Probably $200,000, and it's in the garbage at 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
Monday morning, it's in the garbage. $200,000 worth of flowers.
Now let's open it. Perek Memvav Pasuk Aleph. Sefer Bereshit, Perek Memvav Pasuk Aleph. Good morning, everyone.
This is one of the toughest parashiyot ever.
Yaakov, Perek Memvav Pasuk Aleph. It's page 256. It's the beginning of Perek Memvav. It's 256. Yaakov is ready to go down to Mitzrayim. Before he goes down to Mitzrayim, Vayisai Israel v'chol asher lo, Yaakov and his family, vayavo be'er Sheva. Be'er Sheva was the place where Abraham used to be, Yitzchak. Vayizbach zvachim le'Elohei aviv Yitzchak.
Where was Yaakov now? What city?
It says here.
Where?
He's coming to Beersheba. He was
So where
near
was he coming?
Near Hebron. Or Ezra is asking, where was Yaakov now? Where is he coming from? If you remember, it says in the parasha when he sends Yosef, "Yishlacheu me'amek Hebron." Correct?
Oh, so it's
Hebron. "Yishlacheu me'amek Hebron." It says, "Vayitzbach zvachim le'Elohei aviv Yitzchak." Yaakov is frightened to go to Mitzrayim. So before he goes to offer korbanot le'Elohei aviv Yitzchak. Look a second at the Rashi, please. Rashi on the left column. חייב אדם בכבוד אביו יותר מכבוד זקנו. Rashi says, how come the pasuk says Elohei Aviv Yitzchak? How come not an Avraham? Aviv Yitzchak and Avraham also. Rashi says, Chayav Adam, a person is obligated to honor his father, yoter mikavod zekeno. If you read Rashi carefully, Rashi openly says that he is obligated to honor both. That he is obligated to honor his father more than his Keno, which is Abraham. This is going to be our discussion in a minute. Okay. לפיכך תעלה ביצחק ולא באברהם. Comes the Ramban, is the first one, but everyone is asking it. Let's go back a minute when Yaakov is praying to Hashem before Esav is approaching him. And it says over there how he's praying. Look a second on page 172. Over there, Yaakov is praying to Hashem before Esav is approaching. Vayomer Yaakov. You see pasuk Yud. Vayomer Yaakov, Elohei Avi Avraham, veElohei Avi Yitzchak. Here, when he's praying Avraham and Yitzchak. And here is Abraham before Yitzchak. By us, when he's offering korbanot in Beersheba, he's offering to Yitzchak. Says Rashi, why not Abraham? Because Chayav Adam bekavod aviv yoter mekavod avi aviv. And here, not only he mentions Abraham, he mentions Abraham first. Elohei avi Abraham veElohei avi Yitzchak. Hashem haomer elai shuv la'artzecha. So there is a long Ramban that is raising the question. And the Ramban, in an unusual way, goes in, as it does not very often, but it goes into more Kabbalistic concepts that are not normal pshat. But the question now is a person obligated to honor his grandfather at all? Is he obligated to honor him but not as his father? Or maybe the same as his father? Here in Parashat Vayishlach, it seems not only is obligated, he's obligated before his father, Elohei Avi Avraham, Elohei Avi Yitzchak, when he's praying. So first, interestingly enough, a very unusual way to take this. How will I take it? Open Shulchan Aruch Yoreh De'ah, Siman Reish Mem, Seif Chav Dalet.
Is there somewhere it says Avi Avicha K'Avicha?
Right, but the question is in regard to what? So let's open Hilchot Kibud Av V'Em, Siman Reish Mem, Seif Chav Dalet. Look at Seif Chav Dalet, Siman Reish Mem, Seif Chav Dalet. The Shulchan Aruch says, Chayav Adam lechabed chamim. Person is obligated to show respect to his father-in-law. Says the Rama, Yesh omrim, De'ein Adam chayav bekavod avi aviv. Some say that the man is not obligated. Again, of course, we have normal etiquette in life. I have to respect every person, kal vachomer, my grandfather. When we are talking here, Hilchot Kibud Av V'Em, we're talking about halachically. It says in the Torah, Kabel et avicha ve'et imecha. Are your grandparents included? Rashi told us, yes, but not as much. Here the Ma'arik is that Yosef brings him very often, says, יש אומרים ואין אדם חייב בכבוד אבי אביו. Says the Rama on this Marik, ואינו נראה לי, I disagree, why? אלא דחייב בכבוד אביו, יותר בכבוד אבי אביו. Says the Rama, no, I disagree. The Marik, he says he has to respect his father, but not as much as Avi Aviv. And the Rama brings Veraya Midrash Gabei Ba'izvar Zevachim. So the Rama is bringing a proof, the Rashi that we just read in yesterday's parasha, that Yaakov Ba'izbach Zvachim Le'Elohei Aviv Yitzchak, not Abraham, because he's not Chayav as much. You see clearly, he is Chayav, but not as much. It's mind-boggling, yes? Let's see now.
But where did the Maharik get, where did he learn the Maharik learn this from?
We'll try to go into the topic, obviously, yes? See, normally, you have there all the commentators in front of you there in the computer. You see there is a Lamed Gimal from the Gra. Normally, the Gra is the one that is short and
Yeah.
it tells you to go to Masechet Makot.
You'd bet.
Bet Amud Aleph. So we might go to it in a minute. We might go to it in a minute. Rashi over there says it openly. The question is, of course, how you interpret the Gemara there. We didn't have enough Makot. We have enough. You see, here's the question really goes like this. Today somehow I couldn't find either Kiddushin or Makot, but fine. Look a second. Before we go to Makot, which is the Marik, we have a big question also on the Gemara, but we will see it in Shulchan Aruch in a minute. Come, we'll see it in the Shulchan Aruch. I really wanted us to look at the Gemara, but fine. Look and see if you Dalet. You have the Shulchan Aruch in front of you, go back to see if you the Dalet. You Dalet. Which means Reish Mem, see if you Dalet. The same Siman, Siman Reish Mem. See if you Dalet. This is see if you Dalet is the Gemara in Kiddushin. Aviv Omer lo Ashkeni Mayim. The father or your mother in front of you, and each one is asking you for a glass of water. Says the Gemara in Shulchan Aruch, who is recording it, Maniach imo ve'osek bekavod aviv. You serve your father. Ve'im hi megureshet, but if the parents are divorced, shnehem shavim, ule'ezeh mehem shirzeh yagdil. If the parents are not married, are divorced, you can do whatever you want, your father or your mother. But if your mother is married, you see the Shulchan Aruch doesn't give us the reason.
Well,
it's kabedet avicha and then emecha. So naturally the father's going to come first, no?
What's the source, the halakha source that the reason being I've learned is that because the woman is obligated to her husband. So that's why it's a chain. So what's the source of the woman being obligated to her husband? It's not mutual.
In a second. First, what Eli is saying, look at the Shach and the Shach, Sif Katan Tetzayin, Shach Tetzayin. The Shach brings us in short, what the Gemara says. Maniach imo, shegam imo chayevet bekavod aviv. Gam imo chayevet bekavod aviv. The Shach says it in short, but Eli, you learn the Gemara more than once. The Gemara says like this, I'm reading you the Gemara. שאל בן אלמנה אחת את רבי אליעזר, אבא אומר השקני מים, ואמא אומרת השקני מים. איזה מהם קודם? אמר לי, הנח כבוד אמך, ועשה שאתה ואמך חייבים בכבוד אביך. You and your mother are obligated to show respect to a father. So, which means באמת the mother is the same as the father. Since she has an obligation to be mechabed, you see, like not to serve, to be mechabed. Where is the source? If we look at the, let's look at the Rambam. You know,
So it's not the Torah, it's not a
No,
pasuk.
it's Badai Gemara. No, it's not a pasuk, but it's a drasha. Look at the. Let's look at the Rambam. Second, Larry Rambam Sefer Rambam Nashim Elchot Yeshut. Take out Nashim.
Okay, suppose if the daughter is if the wife is the daughter of Hacham Ovadia and the husband is just a shopkeeper. Respect the mother more than the father.
Rabbi Prague?
He's asking. Ezra is asking. The daughter of Chacham Ovadia and the husband is a plumber. And the Chacham Ovadia is Chacham Ovadia is asking. And Chacham Ovadia would tell his daughter, leave your husband first. You know why? You know why? Because Chacham Ovadia respects the Shulchan Aruch. All these games, Chacham Ovadia is a kite. The Gemara is dictating what to do. The Gemara, Chacham Ovadia will say, my dear daughter, this is your husband. The Gemara tells you, listen to your husband.
But Rabbi Prague,
Play games around, or Chacham Ovadia, title is a big bet. Negative. Yes.
Rabbi Prague, but the pasuk makes it simple because by Yira it says the opposite. Ishimova viv tirau. By Ish is after aim, and by Kibud Av is before aim.
A good question, but you know the Gemara in Kiddushin and Rashi brings
I wish I did.
the Gemara in Kiddushin, the Gemara is asking the question, how come kabedet avicha ve'et imecha, father is first? How come by mora? The Gemara says, naturally a person has more inner awe and respect to his dad than his mom. This is the Torah has to say the mother first. When it comes to kavod, it's the exact opposite, yes? So look a second in the Rambam Elchot Yeshut, Rambam Sefer Nashim, all the way. Give me a second, I'll find you the place. Rambam is giving us the mutual obligations for a husband to a wife as far as respect. You know, we're not talking about jewelry or clothes, all the nonsense. We're talking about day to day for 75 years of marriage. That's in the Rambam.
But it's interesting. It doesn't say kibbud. It says she'irah kesuta ba'onata. It doesn't say anything kibbudah.
The Torah is only talking. The Torah is only talking about the physical, external obligation. You came in a good time. It's already warm. Eli was here in the morning when it was cold. Now,
No, the machine is something wrong with it, the maintenance guy.
At least the smell's gone. At least the smell's
no,
not
it's
bad. Like
okay.
the flood, yeah, it was pretty bad. So I'm trying to find the source where why I skipped kavod to the husband. Kavod to the husband.
As I'm looking at the exact language of the Rambam.
Yeah.
You know what you can you find if you put a sentence from Rambam to find where it is?
You make that better than you can. Except for that.
Look at the Rambam. Mechabda כגופו ואוהבה יותר מגופו. It should be in אישות,
Where in Rambam is that?
או רמב"ם הלכות רמב"ם נשים. And the sentence is מכבדה כגופו ואוהבה יותר מגופו. And you see what the commentators Eli say, you can also do it.
Now I'm gonna try. I'm not good at that, honestly.
It also depends on how sophisticated you're. Now can you find words מכבדה כגופו ואוהבה יותר מגופו?
I don't have, it's not a search, I could, maybe.
In the,
Oh, the עברית.
Yeah.
type it in Hebrew or search for it. Even a couple words is okay.
מכבדה כגופו.
Mabruk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Well, if you found it,
1519.
1519,
In bed,
commission, so wow, we give it
I did
1519.
something that's what it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he's right. 15 ביוטיוב, כאן ביו, אופן רמב"ם פרק ט"ו, ט"ו מישות. ט"ו מישות. קודם כל ט"ו. וכן ציוו חכמים לפי הלכה י"ט. וכן ציוו חכמים שיהיה האדם מכבד את האישה, את אשתו יותר מגופו. והיום השינתי להירות מכבדה כגופו, באמת אצל מכבדה יותר מגופה. וכן ציוו חכמים שיהיה האדם מכבד את אשתו יותר מגופו, ואוהבה כגופו. אוהבה כגופו, מכבדה יותר מגופו. אם יש לו ממון מרבה בטובתה כפי הממון, ולא יטיל עליה אימה יתרה. This is psychology, books of psychology should not, ויהיה דיבורה עמה בנחת, ולא יהיה עצב, ולא רוגז. ולא יהיה עצב, ולא יהיה רוגז. So again, the husband's obligation, מכבד את אשתו יותר מגופו, not like I said before, I was wrong, מכבדה כגופו, ואוהבה כגופו. You cannot ask someone to love, cannot love someone more than himself. אם יש לו ממון, מרבה בטובתה כפי הממון, ולא יטיל עליה אימה יתרה. מה פירוש המילים אימה יתרה? Not too much. Yes? ויהיה דיבורו עמה בנחת, ולא יהיה עצב ולא רוגז. וכן, ציוו חכמים על האישה. So the first half is the husband and the wife. שתהיה מכבדת את בעלה ביותר מדי.
What does it mean, muter? I mean, I know what it means, but it's a funny way of saying muter midai, more than.
Because the Rambam is comparing it to what he said before.
Yeah,
Yes?
more than you need. More than you need.
ויהיה לו עליה מורה, this is the key now, ותעשה כל מעשה על פיו, okay, ויהיה בעיניה כמו שר או מלך. Now what does it mean? It means, the Rambam told us before that the husband is should not put too much, so to say, fear. What does it say here? She has to look at him. I'm using it just an example. In a proper home, should we buy a new car or not? The wife should decide. Should we change a carpet to put new wallpaper? The wife. On certain areas is the husband, the wife. So this sentence, V'yoter midah, is this Gemara. Let's see what the commentators say, right? No words here.
This is a summit on Maaseh.
Give me a second. This edition doesn't have. But the Yesod of the Gemara says, Sha'ata ve'ishtecha chayavim. In modern terminology, it means that every man likes to feel that he's the boss of his house. He's the captain of the ship. Be'emet, be'emet, most of it's the wife. But the men, because we have a man ego, you like to feel that you are. So Ata ve'ri chayavim, how do you show that you, how would a woman show that she's respecting the husband? In most homes, Eli, your wife serves dinner. She's serving herself, and then you or you are dinner with your wife. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about even in modern places. It's under, why are you giving your husband first? Because
No, I understand all of that. I was just saying that it seems like from the way the Gemara brings it, we brought it that it seems from the Torah it says that we should have a pasuk or a source that really is.
if you really want a
not-
pasuk, but it's wrong, but I'll share it anyway. Who showed
Is that from Bereshit?
Adam HaRishon
Sure,
says
Adam
right away,
HaRishon,
the
right.
punishment of Chava was the Wim Shoma.
Okay, that's a good source.
But באמת, it's wrong. Because
Okay.
many husbands take it in a very wrong way.
Rabbi Prague, can you fix the camera,
Just
please?
bringing a premise and they have to have a source for it. That's what I'm saying. What would be the source? It could be Torah Baal Peh. It could be the.
Since this Rambam doesn't have in the bag the commentary I have in the house,
Mhm.
separate volumes, we bring the source for every halacha. And Rambam will see this.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what did you ask, Larry?
Could you just fix the camera because we can't,
Yes.
please.
Rabbi, you heard the story. As a man says, we have a good relationship, me and my wife. I'm in charge of all the important things, foreign relations, the Congress, what's happening in New York State, and all the small stuff. Where do we go on vacation? Do we buy a new car? Do we decorate the house? Do we get a rental? My wife's in charge of that. I don't bother with my stuff, all that stuff. So I'm in charge of the book stuff. She's in charge of all the small stuff.
Okay. Everyone that reads a biography of real great people, it works like every psychology book is saying. But point is, if anyone is asking who is more important, you have right away friction. I told you that Abaria Levine, when he got married, told his wife at the Cheder Yichud, he says, the custom is that the groom gives the bride a piece of jewelry. So you have nothing. I'll give you one gift. Every time there is a disagreement between us, you're right. After he died, his wife said he kept it for 70 years. It's beautiful for a story after breakfast on Sunday in this room. In reality, yes. So let's go back now. If the Gemara, Eli, listen carefully now. If the Gemara tells us that if the husband or the wife, if the father or the mother are asking, give us a cup of water, you have to listen. You have to give your father first because your wife somehow is obligated to serve him first. Why don't you say exactly the same by my father, Rabbi Shalom, is alive and my grandfather, yes? My father is obligated to respect his father. So how can you say that, Eli, that I have to respect my father more than the grandfather? Or someone says, maybe I'm not obligated to respect. It's exactly the same logic. If the wife is obligated to respect the husband, right? And the son has an obligation to his father, and the both are asking him for a cup of water, he gives his father first because his wife, his mother is also. Right? How can you tell me Chayav Adam beKavod Aviv? You tell me Kavod Aviv. His father is also obligated to show respect to his father. How does it?
Yeah.
קושייה עצומה, זה לא שאלה,
No. In fact, I remember learning if there's more than respect that if the father is not alive, actually, there is not as much respect for the grandfather, maybe not even at all. I remember learning.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because it
Eli-
goes through the father. So
So
if
Eli,
you're respecting
okay.
the father, the grandfather, because your father wants you to respect the grandfather.
So Eli is saying, there's a Sefer Leviyat Chen, 300-400 years ago, Rabbi Akiva Eger brings him here in this Siman, and he wants to say like this. He wants to say now, when Yaakov is bringing the Korbanot, Yitzchak is not alive anymore, right? Yitzchak is not alive, then Chayav Adam Bekavod Aviv, Yoter Bekavod Aviv. Over there, when Yaakov is praying, Yitzchak is alive. So when Yitzchak is alive, this is why it mentions Abraham first, because his father is also obligated. Here, so in Parashat, when we look at the Chumash, why there's the contradiction, Jeffrey. Here Rashi says yesterday's Parashat, Chayav Adam Bekavod Aviv, Yoter Bekavod Aviv, because it says, Vayisbach Zvachil Eloi Aviv Yitzchak. No Abraham. When he prays to Hashem before Esav, it says, Elokei Avi Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak. He mentions both that Abraham is first. It says the Leviyat Chen, if your father is alive, then of course, your father is also obligated to your grandfather, yes? This is why Elokei Avi Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak. Bayash in the parasha, you realize he's saying Chidushim Gedolim. If your father and your grandfather are alive, they're both eating dinner by you Friday night, according to this interpretation, you have to give your grandfather first.
Because your father would want you to.
Not only because
No.
you want, because your father is obligated to give him.
Okay.
See, but this is the point. If the Gemara is saying, give your father first because your mother is also obligated to give him, yes?
Yeah. But
So
if your father
according-
tells you give me first, and you have your grandfather, and you have the choice between the father and the grandfather, and your father says give me first, I don't know that you can give the grandfather first
I
then.
know, but based on the Gemara, think for the Gemara. The mother is asking for water, is Chayav in the Torah to give his mother. His father is asking Chayav in the Torah. Says the Gemara, but since the mother is also obligated to
To
give
the
the
father.
grandfather, so this is the question. If you are Chayav with the kavod of your grandfather in the Torah, then grandfather should be first. They both sit at the table.
But the kavod is based on biological, is it based on what he did for you? I mean, we always remember that if you're goy, even if goy converts,
There are two.
So-
Jeffrey is saying that what happened if both parents gave you for adoption? They didn't do anything for you. And the adopting parents are the most amazing people.
Today's stuff.
So Rabbi Prague,
Brought up by somebody else. Michal.
They name
Yes,
you
yes,
after that person.
yes.
They named it after the
Paul
person.
mentions the Gemara today, Sanhedrin 19. The Gemara says that Meirav, the daughter of Shaul, had 5 kids. She died. Michal is raising her kids. And it says the 5 kids. He learned it first. He learned it
No, I learned different places.
so Rabbi Prague,
He learned the daf of the day.
One of
This
the
was the
other
daf of
time,
the
we
day.
learned the same thing.
Rabbi Prague.
Yes.
So let's being that you're sitting with Kohanim, what happens if you have a Kohen at your house or a Talmid Chacham in your house, and one of them asked before or at the same time as your father? What is the preference there?
Everyone agrees with your father.
Okay.
I thought the question should be the Kohen is the Talmid Chacham.
Okay, all right, you could ask that next, but
No, there's a big difference.
because I know the Rambam says Kohen Talmid Chacham comes before.
The Gemara in Orayot, the Gemara has a list. Who should?
So I'm saying,
Rabbi, how about a person's mother, father, and grandfather in the same room? They all want water at the same time.
No, but it's
It's in that order?
it's based on the same
Same
discussion.
thing, same logic.
Same
tray with
discussion.
all cups.
What?
Bring a tray. with
No,
all the cups.
Jeffrey says bring it on the tray and put it on the table.
Five for
No, but if it's biological.
But
what
I
I'm trying to
told
say
my
that the grandfather, the father comes from the grandfather, so you should always have that couple, whether the father's alive or not, because biologically, he's his father. It's just one generation skip.
maybe the person who you learned most of your Torah from.
But this is the question this is how we started. How can you say Chayav Adam bekavod aviv yoter mikavod avi aviv?
No, I got it,
Why?
but
If,
Mm.
that's
if
only
you
if
have
the
to-
father's
it's a
alive,
big
based on what
question.
you're telling me.
right.
What I'm saying to you is
Correct.
that even if the father's not alive, he's his biological father from his father. So, you know, he maybe has that, has to have the kabod, even if his father's not alive.
Well, everyone agrees that you have to. I'll give you an example. See, this is the question. Okay, we have the Shemana Aruch, that's what we're doing. But before that,
Wait, could a father mochel al kvodo?
answer is definitely yes.
I would assume.
For my mother-in-law, after she became a widow, she used to eat with us most of the Shabbatot. I told my wife in advance, I really would give you first, by Kiddush and by Chari. But your mother is at the table, and you are obligated to give your mother, so please give me permission to give her first. I used to give her, and she used to give it to her mother. She sat next to me on the left. Her mother sat next to me further. This is the way we did it. Look at Masechet Makot a second here. I don't have enough, but we have some okay here. So I think open Makot here, right? Have you bet Amud Aleph? Let's see. Camila, you look with me.
Some Doresh Kaveh Abicha to end
You
Abicha with
definitely-
the older brother. Does the older brother get into this?
This is what I wanted to show you, but in a minute. Did you look at that Yud Bet Amud Aleph, Kiddushin, and Makot Yud Bet Amud Aleph. Take the big one, yeah. Take we have another Gemara. You have a Gemara? Makot, you have one?
Yeah, I mean.
Makot.
Yeah, I have Makot, yes.
Take it. Okay, good. So look at Makot Daf Yud Bet Amud Aleph. The Gemara by itself is a fascinating Gemara, but we are going to focus on Rashi. Because in the beginning you asked, where does the Ma'arik? Larry was asking, what does the Ma'arik say? There's no chiyuv of Makot comes after Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin Makot. Makot Daf Yud Bet Amud Aleph. There is a Mishnah there. Let's look a few lines before the Mishnah. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look 5 lines before the Mishnah in the middle of the line. Tani Chada. Masechet Makot Yud Bet Amud Aleph. Tani Chada. See? The question is, Hashem Yishmereinu v'Yatzilenu. The father killed accidentally his son. Can the other son be a Goel Adam and kill his father?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a Gemara. It's a Gemara. Tani Chada, it says in one Baraita, Av Sheharag, Beno Naaseh Lo Goel Adam. The son, yes, can kill. V'tanya Yidach, Ein Beno Naaseh Lo Goel Adam. One Baraita says that the son can be a Goel Adam. It's a contradiction, yes? Leima, Rabbi Yosef Galili, Rabbi Akiva. Which Rabbi Akiva, which Rabbi Yosef Galili? There is in the previous Mishnah, there is a Rabbi Yossi Aglili says it's a mitzvah b'yad Goel Adam. It's not a permission. You have to take revenge. Rabbi Akiva says reshut. So the Gemara wants to say like this: if it's a mitzvah on the relative to do it, so despite the fact that Shem Yishmereinu, that this is your father, you have to do it.
Why? To mitzvah, it goes against another mitzvah.
But if this is Rabbi Yosef Galili, it says it's only reshut, you have permission, don't do it. It's not a mitzvah against the mitzvah. Kabed Avicha, of course, it's not a much Kabed Avicha. Avicha is a murderer, yes?
Yeah.
The Torah says there is a mitzvah on a relative to kill him.
I
The
read
mitzvah-
any other father, you have a specific pasuk.
No, obviously,
You're going against
obviously there is only one son. The idea is, who is the Goel Adam, the one that legally can inherit? He has one son. Remember, it's not against kavod.
It's not against
If
kavod.
you're killing him not because of A or B, I'm killing him assuming now.
Well, if he tells you don't kill me, then you're not listening to your father.
The actual act
The
of
father
committing-
tells you
You
not
can't
to do
even
a
hit your
mitzvah.
father, how are you gonna kill him?
No, but
You
just
say your
Eli's
father tells
question.
you not to do a mitzvah.
Eli is asking
Yeah.
your father, oh, wait, are you killing me? Don't kill me. Don't kill me, but the Torah told me,
That's your
unfortunately, to kill you.
Okay.
You
But the
realize,
father
Eli,
also-
before we-
Allah also told you to
Eli,
respect
Eli,
him.
Eli,
I
Eli,
know. it's-
before we
I mean, that's
continue,
the situation.
Eli,
where-
Eli, before we continue, it's needless to say that if the father was a terrible father and the kid is happy now to kill his father, he should not do it, yes, despite the mitzvah,
So he's
because
not doing a shame,
you're not,
shame
you're not
Shamayim.
doing it, you're murdering, you're a murderer. We're talking about the father was unfortunate, very good father, and it killed. This is one answer. Look further. Leima Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Akiva. V'tizbera. I mean, your question, Jeffrey's question, the Gemara is going to ask almost. Bein lemanda amar mitzvah, bein lemanda amar reshut mishari, ve'amar Rabba bar Avuna. Please listen good. V'chein Tana deber Rabbi Yishmael lakol. אין הבן נעשה שליח לאביו, להכותו ולקללתו. Let's say your job is you are the executioner of the court. You are the one that is giving the 39 lashes. When it comes to your father, you're out. You're not.
Yeah, it's a good,
So how can you say? This is basically what you asked.
But somebody
before.
else could do it.
Right, another person can do it, yes.
But there's no shaliach in the first example.
That's for sure, yeah, for sure now. Chutz me'meisid, fine. So now we need an answer to the contradiction. In one place it says that the son can be the goel adam and kill his father because he killed his brother. La kashya, listen good now. Ha bibno veha ben beno. Hear this? The son cannot kill his father. The grandson can do it, which means,
Grandson could be Goel Adam.
yes, why? Because he's Yoresh, he's on the line of Yoresh. Not who is the next Yoresh. The Rambam says in L'chot Rotzeach, anyone that potentially can become a Yoresh is a Goel Adam.
So even his brother,
His
father could be.
Like that, those that potentially can become,
Right.
but females, for instance, can never do it because they can never become Yoshim.
What if they're all daughters?
Look at if there was only daughter, of course they can do it.
Oh.
Look at the last Rashi in the page now. Habebno, haben beno. You see habebno, haben beno, right? Achigar Sinan. Now you have the Rashi.
Yes, thank you.
Adetanya ein beno naase goel adam bebno shel rotzeach. If it's the son of the murderer, even though his brother was killed, you cannot kill your father. ועד תניא בנו נעשה לו גואל אדם בבנו של הרוג כמה. Not the son of the father, the son of the deceased, yes? Which is the grandfather, yes? שהוא בן בנו של רוצח, you see? ואינו מוזהר על כבודו.
There we go.
Rabbi, I have a question for you on Goel Adam. Is it a mitzvah to kill?
I'll answer your question in a second. So Larry, going back, you asked where did the Maharik take it? If you look at it in the Gra over there in Shulchan Aruch, the Gra says, look here.
Wow.
This is the way Rashi learns Pshat in the Gemara, because otherwise, listen carefully. If the grandson is obligated to respect his grandfather, what is the difference between the son and the father? What is the difference between them? If the Gemara says that a son cannot be the executioner of the father and the son cannot give the lashes, if the grandfather, out of respect to his father, how can he do it? This is what forced him. You realize the Gra of Vilna says that this Rashi.
Could you say this over one more time slowly, if you could? This the last.
I'm saying Rashi is bothered. Why? See, if you learn Gemara good, why does Rashi have to add to give us the last sentence?
Yeah, the Eino Musar, okay.
Musar, you can just tell me the son cannot, the grandson, mutar. Rashi is bothered. What is the difference between the son and the grandson? If a grandson is obligated to respect his grandfather, so he's exactly the same as his father, no? If the father is not permitted to to give lashes to his father even though he deserves it. He's not allowed to kill him if he is a Goel Adam. Why is the grandson different? Says Rashi, the only way to explain it is that there's no trace of mitzvah.
Okay.
Otherwise the Gemara לא מובנת. If you look carefully, there is a circle under Rashi, says Rabbi Akiva Eiger. Rabbi Akiva Eiger says right away, Ayen Bedrashot Ma'arnach, Parshat Toldot, this is exactly what he's discussing, yes? You can learn, you can learn that if the grandson is chayav bekavod of the grandfather, but not as much as the father, you can hear the way Rashi understood it.
It's not.
It's not. This is the point. So now go back. Let me show you. We never do it, but here this is a good example. Go back to the Shulchan Aruch, Reish Mem Seif Chavdaled. Go back Shulchan Aruch like the first book. Reish Mem Seif Chavdaled. Look Seif Chavdaled. Remember? Chavdaled. Right. Look carefully now. Yesh Omrim. אין האדם חייבת, אין האדם חייב בכבוד אבי אביו. You see on the before יש אומרים למד גימל, סירקל למד גימל אליי? למד גימל, look at הגאות הגר"א. ביאור הגר"א, you see, הגאות הגר"א, הגאות הגר"א למד גימל, למד גימל.
Makot Yud Bet Aleph.
Yeah, this is exactly what the guy is doing. You realize? Biur Agra. You see the Biur Agra? Says the Biur Agra, you see in one word, it sends you right away. The Gra says, look in the Rashi, yes, Makot Yudbet Amud Aleph, Lo Kashya Habi Bnu Habi Ben Beno, V'ayen Rashi Sham. See, this is the Gra. The Gra found the shoresh, the root of the Ma'arik, that says that it's not Chayav. Remember, not Chayav means, of course, you have to respect your grandfather. But it's not, it doesn't go in together for kabed et avicha v'timech. You understand?
You usually go to Rashi Halacha though, like something like this, because he's so late in the game. You know.
Ila is asking, but why is the Gra bringing the Rashi? The point here, I was trying to show you in the Gemara that Rashi has to say it, because otherwise.
Okay, so he's yeah.
What is Ila? What is
I
the
understand.
difference?
No, I understand.
What is the difference?
He's shit from the Gemara. I got it. Yeah.
He understood it has to learn. Yeah, Mel, what was your question about the Goel Adam? Yes, what was your question?
I was asking a question before about the Goel Adam, but I forgot. I'll after try to remember it. I'm sorry, Rabbi.
I'll remind you. You started to ask, Reshut or Mitzvah. Is he obligated or is he permitted?
Oh yes. Okay. So the Goel Adam, Rabbi. Here's my question: is it a mitzvah to be a Goel? If it comes in front of me to go and kill him, do I have to, or could I say, you know?
Look at the Mishnah, Eli. Look at the Mishnah. Look in the Mishnah. Yudbet Amud Bet. You have the Gemara in front of you. Look at the. I'm giving you the answer. I'm just telling him to look inside here. Rabbi Yossi Aglili Omer. Look one line in the white lines. Rabbi Yossi Aglili says mitzvah b'yad Goel Adam.
Is it mitzvah chova necessarily? I don't have to draw my tzitzit.
This is the chova. Rabbi Akiva Omer, reshut b'yad Goel Adam. So it's a machloket between two Tanaim, and as you can see, the Rambam says it's reshut. He has the right to do it. He's not obligated to do it.
According to the pasuk, it sounds like it's reshut.
How? Eli says it sounds from the pasuk. How?
It says. If
Eli is מדייק in the pasuk, פן ירדוף גואל אדם אחר הרוצח, כי יחם לבבו. Guys, remember, none of us is in the position to. I told you more than once. I had a friend that his job was in Tel Aviv. This is in the 70s or 80s. His job was, he was a very distinguished looking man, very educated, to inform families that the son died in the army. So normally he used to go with a nurse or a doctor. So he used to knock on the door, hello, my name is, I'm sorry to, says once he comes into a house, he knocks on the door and he says, my name is Yossi Cohen, I'm sorry to, says the brother picked up a chair and threw it on him. Then he took plates and threw it. The guy went wild. Since then, he started to come with a policeman and a doctor. Now, the brother went crazy. The answer is, he was not ready for this type of a news. He lost it. And you are the one. What did my friend do? Did I kill your brother? I got a phone call in my office to go. They gave me the address. The answer is, he lost his mind. So, Pen Yecham Levavo means, I'm asking you a question. Do you think of Shlomo Auerbach, somebody would kill his brother, we're going to kill the guy? Ki Yecham Levavo means if you're a hotshot and you, this is why Eli, otherwise, why would one kind of mitzvah? Which mitzvah am I doing here? The guy killed accidentally. Remember, accidentally means I'm climbing on the ladder, yes? And one of the steps fell. This is Ki Yecham Levavo. Ki Yecham Levavo means the Torah understands that human beings sometimes are going wild. But if you realize all the obstacles that we put in front of him before he does it, you have to wait till the court decides that this was a murder, yes? When he goes to the Ir Miklat, we send 2 scholars to accompany, yes? And while he's in the Ir Miklat, you cannot touch him. So would you be crazy to station yourself outside of the Ir Miklat? If he goes to the movies and play basketball, then kill him. Which means we understand that you might be a hotshot, we understand. And anyway, the halacha is reshut. You can see very clearly, look by the Arabs, by the Muslims, the concept of Goel Adam is very strong. Even today, to take revenge.
Where do we know that you can't hire a shaliach?
What?
You can't get a shaliach to do it for you. Why, like any mitzvah, you can get a shaliach. I mean, it sounds, from just, I mean,
Eli is asking, Eli is asking, why don't you hire
no, where do I know?
But let's say it's not a, let's say it's a reshut.
Right.
You guys don't say you won't.
We understand.
Give me a.
So Larry is giving a good answer. If you follow the halacha, it's only the shoot, so finished. You're sending me to do something that you're not obligated.
Okay.
But how many generations go? In other words, let's say it happened. So I'm the brother, so I could let it go with them. But what about the brother's son? What about the brother's aunt? What about?
Theoretically speaking, it's endless. Now the answer is what I told Eli. We assume that this hotshot, it is really out to kill. What do you gain by killing a man who killed your brother accidentally? It's only to
get asked that question all the time.
The answer is this is the power of revenge. Did you ever read the book, the Count of Monte Cristo?
Of course.
I went to MTA, we didn't have to read.
You remember the main story there is revenge. Yes? Yes. The answer is if you are, I mean, remember Israel swore, you remember when they killed the fire in the Olympics, when they killed Israel, those who participated in years later. I mean, do you realize how much money and time Israel invested for what? For what? Okay, for the time being, they thought it's a lesson. Today, you make sure that all the commanders, the next day, another guy steps in, but this is life. They have to do what they have to do. But some of them are certainly afraid, but the answer is this is what revenge is about. Revenge is you'll spend. Your question should be like, this is an interesting question.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can do kiddushin, you can do a get, you can do all sorts of things. Why can't you do this?
I'm trying to remember.
It's not Naveira because you're allowed to kill him.
No, he's asking למד אמר מצווה. אני לא זוכר אם זה גמרא או לא.
You guys make fun, but nobody really answers.
No, you're right. Like most of the like most of the time when people make fun of any question means that the one that was asked doesn't have an answer. So the only way to deflect, not to answer is, your question is good because it's a mechalitza, you need a pasuk. By every
Yeah,
mitzvah,
exactly. I'm gonna say Chalitza, we know we can't.
every
If you have
place.
words.
But the whole concept of shaliach doesn't make sense here, because the whole point was that that person was the person who got
If
hurt.
the vote, if the point is
It's like you can't say the guy.
Yeah, but you're happy to have
emotional,
a kid,
and therefore you give him the ability to be goel adam, and now you're gonna go hire a total
Yeah.
stranger to do the mitzvah that you had emotions for.
The Goel Adam is a cripple, he can't get out, he's in a wheelchair, he can't do it himself, I mean.
No, but the goel adam is an exception. You can't like you can't get a guy to marry the guy's wife. Here it's the same thing. It's a relative. It's a,
You boom, you can't have somebody.
yeah. You
step
can't
in.
you can't
Can't
like
hire shaliach
right to do your boom.
You probably,
It's an exclusion.
yeah,
You
I'm
can't
trying to
go
think, we have
around
a
killing
pasuk to
people.
tell us, probably, no, it's probably,
you're asking only the halacha is.
then why can't I do Kiddushin?
It is a shoot.
Ooh,
No, but you see
And
that,
again,
You have,
No, you
you
see
have
the-
somebody to do the
the right way to ask.
you. It's not a.
So you're killing the guy.
Okay, I mean, the real answer, I mean, the only way to answer
But
is
he's
you have
not
to
your
look at the
Goel
Aruch Laner, in the Aruch Laner, the Gvorot Ari, and
I'll
in
drop it for now.
the Mishnah. I mean, if you the right answer, באמת, Rambam, if you remember, is dividing all the mitzvot into few categories. Tefillin, shofar, right? Are category A. There's no way out of it. It's mezuzah, chova or not chova? The Rambam
Because
says
you don't have
no,
a house.
because
Oh, because he doesn't have a house.
you have a house.
Oh, I
You have
don't
a
have any,
house.
I don't have any.
I have a
doors
house,
all
I have-
around, everything
Right,
is
this is
round.
the Rambam. It's definitely a mitzvah in the Torah to have a mezuzah. If you have a house, you can live in a boat. The Rambam says.
Yes,
Gives many other examples. Yes, tzitzit. So this is really the real question. Is the mitzvah like tefillin?
Oh, that's what I asked you in the beginning. I asked you, is it a chovah or not? You said it's a chovah. If you say it's a mitzvah, then you're saying it's a chovah. I didn't,
Because
I
it's
said not
which-
necessarily.
Which is which chova?
The answer is it depends.
Chova. I mean, I'm asking is the chova? My job is I know that he ran to Australia, is to chase him to Australia and to do it to him. Or chova means if I bump into him, if I know exactly where he is. צריכים לחפש, זו שאלה שמתאימה לערוך לנר. In the green book, we used to have the green book, some of the Talmud. It's an interesting question. Logical saying. See, זו שאלה מעניינת. The reason I'm saying it is because you see in the Gemara in פרק שני in קידושין, in the סוגיה of אין שליח את דבר עבירה, right?
It's not an Avirah.
No, good. Wait.
It's not actually Avirah.
Obviously, it's not that, but I'm talking about the mitzvah, yes. The Navi says to David, אותו הרגת בחרב בני עמון. מה זה אותו הרגת? I didn't kill him. David did not kill me. You remember David took the Bathsheba.
Right.
Uriah Hiti is a husband. When David realizes that he refuses to go home and she is pregnant, sends a secret letter to Yoav, put him in the
The front
front.
line.
The Navi says to him, אותו הרגת, מה זה אותו? I didn't kill him. I wrote to Yoav, and even Yoav didn't kill him. Yoav displaced him there. So listen to the Gemara here. Here. The Gemara says that yes. והדתני האומר לשלוחו צא והרוג את הנפש. והי המאפיה מנהית מדוכא. הוא חייב ושולחו פטור. The murderer is a murderer ושולחיו פטור. שמאי הזקן אומר, משום חגי הנביא, חגי הנביא זה בגיל בבית שני, שולחיו חייב, the one that sent him חייב, שנאמר, אותו הרגת בחרב בני עמון. David is accused by the prophet as if he is, מה זה אני לא עשיתי שום דבר. You sent someone to kill him. Okay, the second pshat of the Gemara is chayav or b'dinei shamayim. B'dinei shamayim. So here it's the same. I mean, there is a trace of mitzvah here. Rabbi Feinstein used to say, Rabbi Feinstein arrived in this country in the early 30s. Remember, he came from a Jewish community. He said one of the first questions, what really gave him a picture of what the American.
Oh, is this about the shaliach for a funeral?
Unbelievable. A man comes to him, his father died during the busy season. He came to Rabbi Feinstein, can you hire someone to sit Shiva for him?
Wow.
Hey, the question gets better.
The answer is yes. Should he go to be Menachem Afer? No. But my father used to say he was in a shock. He was in a shock. First of all, the guy was selling his father. You realize he wants to show respect to his father, but Shlocho Shel Adam Kemoto, he's paying him money to see Shiva. Again, he has mitzvah also B'chum Avelim. Understand? No, but we are laughing, but it's very sad. This is the way this gave Rabbi Feinstein a real picture, Hashem Yishmor V'Yatzil, how Judaism looked. So, but it's an interesting question. Lucas said here, go back to the Shulchan Aruch. So remember the Rashi.
Rabbi, but I just want to just interrupt on one thing. It's not far-fetched because I run into a lot of people and they have zero religion or very little. It just happened to me very recently, but and they don't know anything about Kaddish or anything. And I tell them, if you can, and they're well-to-do people, hire somebody to say Kaddish for your brother, your mother, your father. You're doing a big help to them in the next world.
Please listen carefully. You're talking about Kaddish. Kaddish means that if someone is saying Kaddish on behalf of the deceased, right? So 10 people are saying Yehei Shmei Rabbah. It's preferred if the son is doing it. If not, as long as someone is saying it on his behalf, yes? You hear the difference? Sitting Shiva is you, the son, is obligated to sit Shiva for his father, yes?
But hypothetically, Rabbi, this person knows nothing. There was somebody in my building that passed away above me on the floor above me, and I used to run into him. I said Kaddish for a week for him.
Mention you again. Rabbi Harari Alav Shalom came to me, to many others. People are looking for someone to say Kaddish, yes? Okay, so you find a poor man in Israel for $10 a day, whatever, yeah? This is only for Kaddish, for Shiva. If you want to see, okay, see, take Rambam, Mishpatim Shoftim, stay here, man, Mishpatim Shoftim, bring the Rambam. Look at the Rambam, Sefer Shoftim, Perek Yudalet, Vilchot Aver.
But if a guy doesn't know anything, Rabbi, knows zero. So you're saying that somebody else sitting will do nothing.
7 days on the ground, uncomfortable because your father is dead. This is what he has to do. Shiva doesn't mean that people have to come and eat cake and say mezonot or make borei priyatzos also. Shiva means feel discomfort for 7 days to show respect to your dead. This is what Shiva is about. I'm going to read it to you in the Rambam, okay?
Now I understand.
Look at the Rambam in Ilchot Aver, all the way. First, let me show you here. I told you Perek Yudalet. Let's look at something before that. Well, the Rambam brings Pesukim for. Even the Goyim understand it, but look at Perek Yud Gimel Halacha Yud Bet. Look at Halacha Yud Bet. Perek Yud Gimel Milchot Aver Halacha Yud Bet. Then Yud Gimel. Perek Yud Gimel Halacha Yud Bet. Then you look to Yudal. Perek Yud Gimel Halacha Yud Bet.
What? Oh, Shoftim.
It's Rambam Sefer Shoftim Ilchot Havel Perek Yud Gimel Halacha Yud Bet. Kol mi she'eino mitaber. You hear everyone, but I'm saying to Mel, כל מי שאינו מתאבל כמו שציוו חכמים, הרי זה אכזרי. The Rambam doesn't give this title very often. He's a cruel man without a heart. Remember again, Avel doesn't mean accept people and shake, thank you for coming. Neither semezonot. Sit on the floor, be in discomfort for 7 days out of respect. אלא יפחד וידאג ויפשפש במעשיו ויחזור בתשובה. As you sit, think about life. Yes, tremble, worry. Says Rambam, ואחד מבני חבורה שמת, תדאג כל החבורה. If you have a close-knit group of people, one died, everyone has to be afraid because it's a message and a reminder to everyone. כל 3 ימים הראשונים יראה את עצמו כאילו חרב מונחת לו על כתפו. The first 3 days the Avel should look on it as if a bullet is over his head. מ3 ועד 7 מונחת בקרן זווית. In many communities in Yerushalayim till today, you don't go to the bite of the Avel before the 3rd day. מכאן ואילך עוברת כנגדו, וכל זה כדי להכין עצמו לחזור ויהור משנתו. Here, according to the Rambam, one of the reasons we see Shiva is it's a wake-up call. Look at the end of life. Of course, your father might have been 88 years old, but everyone, there aren't any person that doesn't find himself in a wooden box in the ground, yes? This is, so the Rambam says it's cruelty. Now look in the previous halacha, a second, halacha Yud Aleph, in the same page.
You seem to be saying like the first 3 days you're being judged almost.
Of course. Judge me, are you learning something from me? The biggest thing, look, Yud Aleph. אל יתקשה אדם על מתו יותר מדי. Any family or family member who carries the pain for too long, שנאמר אל תבכו למת ואל תנודו לו, כלומר יותר מדי, שזהו מנהגו של עולם. You have to do it the way most people do it. והמצער עצמו על מנהג העולם, הרי זה טיפש.
What does that mean?
See, the Ram, טיפש means a fool.
I'm saying that
If a man carries it months later, he's a fool. אלא כיצד יעשה? 3 לבכי.
Okay.
37 להספד, you talk a lot. 30 לתספורת ולשאר החמישה. What does the Rambam say? I'm giving you just an example, okay? I read last week, Rabbi Shulkin has a collection of fascinating stuff he heard from many באמת גדולים. Here, Rabbi Shulkin's father had a heart problem. Unfortunately, the doctors did not really detect it. They thought he has other problems, and he died from the heart problem. At the Shiva, the son is saying to the people, the doctor killed my father. And he diagnosed, right? As he is saying it, Moshe Feinstein walks in to be Menachem Avel. And he writes in the book, he told me, Michal, his name was Michal, don't ever say, no one dies because of a doctor. He died because his time is up. Unfortunately, this is what
Doctor was the
what? Right, the doctor was the
Yeah,
bullet.
yeah.
It was the bullet. Of course, the doctor should be reprimanded. There's no question about it. But to say he died because of them, he didn't die because of them.
You said
So
this
the
Thursday or
Rambam-
Friday.
What the Rambam is saying, is the Tsar is unbearable, but there are two. Listen to something fascinating that More of Kul said. In yesterday's parasha, this is exactly this topic. In yesterday's parasha, we read that Yosef is falling on Binyamin and he's crying, and Binyamin.
Oh, yeah, he says that Yaakov didn't fall on his shoulders, right?
So Rashi says, Yosef is crying on Binyamin because he knew the Beit HaMikdash is going to be destroyed. Beit HaMikdash was by Binyamin. Binyamin is crying on Yosef because the Mishkan Shiloh was by Yosef 369 years. Says the Admor Migur, why do you have to cry on his Beit Mikdash? Cry on your own. And what the answer is? never cry on your own, build another one. If you start to cry, makes you depressed, and I have to cry for his pain. You know who he said it to? He lost 150,000 Hasidim. He lost his wife and 5 kids. He met the Admor Mibelz who lost everyone. And they're crying to each other. And he says to this Torah, and he says, I'm crying for you and you cry for me. But I'm not crying for me, my job is to raise the new generation of over 100,000 Hasidim. It's exactly what he said. This is what the Rambam is.
Raise it, patient,
The only
strong
thing
words,
I
the way he
wish
says
another-
it.
The Rambam is a super intelligent.
Right.
He says, as you cry more and more, you cannot come out of it,
I have
becoming
a
depressed. Take the
In other
anguish
words,
that you
after the
have.
year, even if you
Not
feel,
only-
go to the
not
wedding,
only
go
after
out,
the
go
year.
do what you have to
Do
do,
it, not
do
only
it.
do something positive to commemorate,
Right,
do
that's
positive,
exactly-
but to replace.
But it's interesting, because you read Yud Bet and then you read Yud Aleph. To me, I would have reversed it. I would have put Yud Bet first and then Yud Aleph, because the guy is saying, oh, Achilak, like he said. Now I would say, oh, the Rambam tells me, don't get so carried away about it. Why did he do it in reverse?
My grandmother used to say, this is my wife, says the minute the Shiva is over, this is in Yerushalayim, he says, go to the Machne Yehuda and buy tomatoes, which means life has to go. It is an Ashkenazi custom, when the Shiva is over, the 7th day, Avelim has to leave the house and walk around.
Go around the
block.
block, we do that.
Right, but you know, this is the super.
We have to go to a store.
Right, to a store.
Sure, sure. The minute we leave, you have to go to a store. Yeah, we always do.
I remember walking around the block.
We go to the store. No, we have a custom. We
Here
have
it
to
is,
go.
Jeffrey said that they have a custom not only to walk around the block.
Yeah, we had that.
No, but you understand?
But what else? What else do you do aside from that?
But you,
Then I go to the store and buy something.
no, but you understand
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Go to the store.
Yeah,
they-
the logic of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Ah,
it's the
Rabbi,
same
he's
thing.
talking about you.
No, no, I'm talking about the Shabbat.
No, I'm saying it's the same concept.
Straight to.
More or less, more or less.
I guess that's a superstition or.
It's not a superstition. I'm telling you, it's this Rambam, it's this Rambam, you have to show.
No, I don't mean if you go to a Beit Hafel. And then
yes.
you have to think of, oh no, for a funeral, no. If you go to a funeral, they say you shouldn't go straight. Go to a store, buy something. This,